Yes, now let's terrorize America with Crash Talk.
HTLA Radio 1. HTLA Radio 1 in New York City proudly presents Crash Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, HTLA 97.3 FM in New York proudly presents rock superstar Crash Jesus.
There we are, kids. Yes, you got it tuned, HTLA Radio 1 New York, and it's Tuesday, so it's a Crash Talk day, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? It's a Crash Talk day. What do you think about that, kids? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, but we got a fun one for you today. It's a real barn burner. Yeah?
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Yes. The good old days of guests gone by.
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Really?
And we didn't.
Oh, of course you didn't. Oh, yeah, well...
I think it should be short and sweet.
Okay. Yes, that is resident homicide expert Louis Lawless here on HTLA's Crash Talk. No, good show for you today. Good fun. You know, Crash Talk's the opinionator show. It always rips people a new one for whatever stupid thing they're doing out there these days. But recently, as of late, last couple of shows have been kind of pretty much peripherally dancing around the is thing. Yes, the super terrorist group. Yes. We actually got a little message that was called in from the terrorist group. Yes. You filthy American pigs. No longer would my men be forced to bow down to your pantyhose-wearing imperialism. Each week, we will raise pillars of holy fire in each of your cities until our demands are met. Well, there you have it. Pillars of holy fire in our cities each week until those demands are met.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yes, Louis.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
How many different families do you have? You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that? I
do. Yes. It's
about fucking time. Move on.
Okay, all right. Well, moving on with the show, we've got some good stuff here. We're gonna kind of break down for you the is situation, the is ill situation. Is ill. I don't know. It sounds like a new drug, and the new and improved, more threatening, more hostile. Break it down for you, Crash. We're gonna break it down. Khorasan. Yes, the new and improved threatening terrorist group that's actually, according to U.S. officials, a bigger threat. Yes, but you're gonna laugh your little bellies off when I tell you exactly what the Khorasan group consists of.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, no, you didn't do it, Louis. It was a mistake on, I think, the U.S.'s part. But anyway, yes, very interesting show. Yes, wouldn't you say? All right, well, you are tuned to HTLA, of course, and this is the one, the only Crash Talk. 63 degrees in Central Park tonight, and it's not too bad. It's not great. It's not, Crash's favorite Florida weather, but hey, it'll have to do in a pinch. Because I live in the greatest city in the world. Yes, I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, there you have it. On the show tonight, like I said, we're going to break down the is situation a little more in-depth and detailed. And I kind of ripped it a good one last week in terms of kind of shedding the light on the fact that it's not anything to worry about. You've got a greater chance of your toilet backing up and weird green slime coming out of it than you do of anything to go on with the is deal. And Khorasan, yes, the new threat, Khorasan. It sounds like a new kitchen countertop material. Ah, yes, I just put in Khorasan in my kitchen. Doesn't it? Yeah. What do you think, kids? You want a little Khorasan? Yes. And I have other big news, too. Not only is the leader, the Al-Qaeda is leader dead, but now, magically, all of a sudden, Khorasan just kind of came upon us yesterday, but already today, don't worry, the Khorasan leader is dead. Yes, but I'm completely serious here, folks. Yes. So we're going to pause for a little quick station identification, and we'll be back in 20 seconds, or it's free.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Ah, yeah. Damn, that's sexy. Thank you, Mr. CT. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, first up on the old Crash Talk today, isn't alone. Khorasan group may pose a bigger threat to the United States. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that, did you? Well, apparently it does, according to folks in the know, who, well, let's be fair, don't know. So, without further ado, I guess let's get to the official presidential word on the developments today.
Good morning, everybody. Last night, on my orders, America's armed forces began strikes against ISIL targets in Syria. Today, the American people give thanks for the extraordinary service of our men and women in uniform, including the pilots who flew these missions with the courage and professionalism that we've come to expect from the finest military that the world's ever known. Earlier this month, I outlined for the American people our strategy to confront the threat posed by the terrorist group known as ISIL. I made clear that as part of this campaign, the United States would take action against targets in both Iraq and Syria, so that these terrorists can't find safe haven anywhere. I also made clear that America would act as part of a broad coalition, and that's exactly what we've done. We were joined in this action by our friends and partners, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Bahrain, and Qatar. America is proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with these nations on behalf of our common security. The strength of this coalition makes it clear to the world that this is not America's fight alone. Above all, the people and governments of the Middle East are rejecting ISIL and standing up for the peace and security that the people of the region and the world deserve. Meanwhile, we will move forward with our plan supported by bipartisan majorities in Congress to ramp up our effort to train and equip the Syrian opposition, who are the best counterweight to ISIL and the Assad regime. And more broadly, over 40 nations have offered to help in this comprehensive effort to confront this terrorist threat, to take out terrorist targets, to train and equip Iraqi and Syrian opposition fighters who are going up against ISIL on the ground, to cut off ISIL's financing, to counter its hateful ideology, and to stop the flow of fighters into and out of the region. Last night, we also took strikes to disrupt plotting against the United States and our allies by seasoned al-Qaeda operatives in Syria who are known as the Khorasan Group. And once again, it must be clear to anyone who would plot against America and try to do Americans harm that we will not tolerate safe havens for terrorists who threaten our people. I've spoken to leaders in Congress, and I'm pleased that there is bipartisan support for the actions that we're taking. America is always stronger when we stand united, and that unity sends a powerful message to the world that we will do what's necessary to defend our country. Over the next several days, I will have the opportunity to meet with Prime Minister Abadi of Iraq and with friends and allies at the United Nations to continue to building support for the coalition that is confronting there's a serious threat to our peace and security. The overall effort will take time. There will be challenges ahead, but we're going to do what's necessary to take the fight to this terrorist group for the security of the country and the region and for the entire world. Thanks. God bless our troops. God bless America.
Yes, God bless America. Well, there you go. Yeah, you got it right from the horse's mouth, as it were, Mr. Obama, earlier, talking about the airstrikes that pounded targets in Syria overnight, last night. And to me, it kind of blows me away because he said all that stuff. And, well, of course, the reporters weren't allowed to actually ask any questions, but I'm sure one of the first questions would be, why are we training and supporting Iraq military when we just went to war with them in the last decade? Somebody answer me that. It seems like countries that the U.S. goes to war against within 5 or 10 years are doing better than countries we're apparently friendly with and giving aid to. That's just what I'm seeing. So when U.S. fighter jets pounded ISIS targets in Syria overnight, and let's talk about that for a second too, they also carried out a separate mission targeting what the Pentagon said were seasoned al-Qaeda veterans allegedly plotting an attack on American interests. Yes, it's not our Twin Towers anymore, it's our interests. Oh, that's kind of a nice country over there. I'm kind of interested in Italy. Boom. Filthy Americans, you can't have it. What is that? And here's another thing that comes to mind, too. U.S. fighter jets pounded ISIS targets in Syria overnight. Okay, well, let's kind of turn the tables here for a second. Let's turn them around. See if we can look at this from the other end. Now, what if it was Syria that was the superpower and they had the greatest military in the world? And there were suspected terrorists in our country here. So let's say, some of the suspected terrorists lived in New York. What are they doing? Are they just ground pounding with carpet bombs? Are they doing some sort of quote-unquote surgical strikes? And what is the collateral damage there? If Bob the terrorist lives, next door to me here at 586 and I'm at 587 and, they come over last night and drop a hellfire on his house, I don't have a house anymore either. So I'd be really interested in knowing what the collateral damage to all this is, and with every supposed ISIS Syrian terrorist taken out last night, how many just average everyday run-of-the-mill civilians were killed also? Why is that okay? Especially when so little is known about these militants, dubbed the Khorasan Group. Sound like a bunch of business consultants. Yes, if you want your business to go to the next level, call the Khorasan Group. Got a startup you want going? Call the Khorasan Group. What the hell is that? It's like some sort of annexed American account company that they're shoving their funding through to give these 100 dudes in the desert AK-47s and scarves. And yes, you heard me. The Khorasan Group consists of roughly 100 soldiers, ground troops, who have no military resources to speak of, no vehicles, certainly no air force, no missiles, well, like I said, they've got AKs and scarves and they're in the desert. What could that possibly threaten in terms of U.S. interests? Unless we're protecting sand now. Yeah. So where did they come from, you may ask? Well, intelligence analysts say Khorasan refers to battle-hardened al-Qaeda fighters who have traveled from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and elsewhere to Syria. But beyond that, the accounts completely differ. U.S. Central Command said the group was using civil war-ravaged Syria as a haven. Yes, because any war-torn, ravaged country is an absolute haven for anything you might want. The lack of food, water, material, and resources is a big attractor to terrorists all over the world because they can do absolutely nothing from countries like that. Yes, it's great. While Khorasan has been operating in Syria now for over a year, apparently, their attention has been focused beyond that country's borders. Yes. So what are you guys going to do? You going to hitchhike to the next country and lay waste? raise pillars of holy fire to their cities each week? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're in Syria, but they're not really fighting in Syria, said Michael Leiter, the former director of National Counterterrorism Center and now the NBC News analyst. Isn't it great to know that, our global leaders in our superpower country that we have here, once they're done that job, they go on to bigger and better things like working for NBC. They're using it as a place to find Western recruits, quote unquote. Well, yes, you're probably saying that because of the supposed 500 British UK patriots that have apparently been going to Syria for the last 6 years, in other reports, for training. Yes. And then financially supporting ISIS. That was the story last month. But what? Okay. Now you're probably sitting there going, but isn't there already an Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria? Like that? Yes, the Al-Qaeda affiliate. This just in from our Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria. Yeah. Now they're like organizing like news services. Yeah. Al-Qaeda's recognized affiliate in Syria is something called Jabhat al-Nusra. But that doesn't mean that there's not room for Khorasan. No. Beautiful countertops. Khorasan's motivations are very much in line with traditional Al-Qaeda, and it maintains a close relations with Nusra, according to Leiter. Intelligence analysts acknowledged disagreements over how separate or linked Nusra is to Khorasan. Still, the relationship appears to be symbolic. Yes. Nusra focuses on internal operations within Syria, while Khorasan plans for external operations. Yes, they're going to walk out of the country and hitch a ride to blow up our cities each week. Why is the U.S. worried? Very good question. Well, the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, last week said that Khorasan poses a threat to the U.S. equal to that of ISIS, according to the Associated Press. Well, of course, last week the Associated Press said that ISIS wasn't a threat to America. So if Khorasan equals that threat, then they're not a threat either. Correct me if I'm wrong. Quote, he says, Khorasan is less of a threat to the region and more of a threat to the U.S. homeland than ISIS is. Unlike ISIS, the Khorasan's group focus is not on overthrowing the Assad regime. There are core Al-Qaeda operatives who are taking advantage of the Syrian conflict to advance attacks against Western interests. And how would you do that exactly? And of course, that question is in your head. How could that happen? Well, Khorasan has been actively recruiting Westerners for plots against American and European interests, according to the intelligence officials. They want to get Western recruits with Western passports and attack the West. Yes, I guess that goes to that call there a couple of days ago where the terrorists were, asking any sympathizers within the U.S. borders to find military personnel and their families and go to their houses and kill them all. Really, if you're sitting over in a desert with an AK and a scarf trying to convince us Americans over here to go to military personnel's homes and kill them and their families, yeah, I would say that's a non-threat. I mean, it's not a nice thing to say. No, it's not. But threatening? I'm really not seeing it. I'm not. I'm sorry. Fears are high that the group could exploit and capitalize on ties to Al-Qaeda and the Arabian Peninsula, and that the affiliate's sophisticated bomb makers. Well, what sophisticated bomb makers are those? Are those the ones in the movies, like True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, where they actually have a bomb maker who makes a nuclear weapon? Or are you talking about the bomb makers in frickin' reality? And you can talk to any military service person who served on a convoy about the ingenious, incredible, very advanced, stupid crap pipe bombs and whatever they're putting on the roads over there. bastardized mines and stuff from 1941 or somebody thing. And seriously, they're taking old Russian mines from the 60s and 70s up in Afghanistan. They're dispersing them on the roads. And we'll hook up a little cell phone and we'll call the number when we see them coming. That's the reality of what you're dealing with, folks. I don't know what this sophisticated bomb makers is they're talking about. Yeah, don't believe me? Like I say, ask any U.S. service person who served overseas in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. Pick one. Absolutely pick one. Anyway, we're out here for a 2-minute commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into the rest of who's leading the charge. Yes, we'll get into the leaders. Be right back, gang.
You're listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
The apocalypse is coming. Will it be aliens, zombies, or a global financial meltdown? Whatever it is, you need to be prepared. Get your complete apocalypse kit at Ammunition. Contains foodstuffs and alcohol for 3 months. A massive array of armaments. Water purifier so you can drink your own urine. And cyanide pills so you can go out like a man. Don't dial 911. Dial 357. Ammunition. Protecting your rights.
I hate you! Get out!
Oh, yeah? Then let me tell our son I'm moving out. Ryan! What the hell is this?
It's a vase!
That's a bong! Where did you learn how to make this?
I learned it on the internet!
Broken families begin in one place, the internet. Don't get into a traffic accident on the information superhighway. Keep your family together. Keep off the internet. This message brought to you by Citizens United, negating technology for life and people's safety.
It was 9 a.m. The phone rang.
Commando Pest Eradication. You saw a bug on your child's apple? Code red, boys. We got a live one.
Your home, much like the rest of the world, is infested with unwanted vermin. Commando Pest Eradication will wage war on nature, so you don't have to.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank God you're here! I saw a bug in the kitchen!
You did the right thing, ma'am. We'll take it from here. Everything's gonna be okay.
Commando Pest Eradication uses only the most lethal chemicals to rid your home of unwanted life. Our team is composed of military-trained professionals that know how to take care of a messy situation fast. After successfully defoliating Vietnam, we turned our attention to the home front. Your home front.
We've got the situation in the kitchen contained, sir. But I found this. Jesus, what the hell is this?
That's my daughter!
Looks more like Viet Cong to me.
Commando Pest Eradication. We kill everything in sight, so you feel safer. It's the war on nature, and this time, we're winning.
Oh, excuse me, this is a supermarket. You two need to get a room.
No, we don't. Renegade.
Oh, God, you smell incredible. Maybe I'll join in.
Renegade Cologne, for the man who wants to reek of masculinity. Nobody tells a renegade what to do.
Sir, that tree is not a bathroom.
Oh, really?
Ow, not on my shoes!
Renegade. The renegade man goes where he wants. For the smell of an individual, it's Renegade.
Or instead of Renegade, try Sweat, the cologne for the animal inside. It's real sweat, because nothing attracts women like a sweaty man.
You want your kids to be safe, so you give them a mobile phone. What are they going to do when they get attacked? Throw it at someone? Why not force the state to keep us all protected by arming everybody? The senile old lady in her home, the 3-year-old on the playground, the priest in his church. We think everybody should carry weapons at all times. That way nobody gets hurt. It's a proven fact. Where there's more guns, there are less shootings. Vote yes on Proposition 45. Mandatory concealed carry money for everybody. The nuclear deterrent won the Cold War. Let's use the same logic and win the war on crime. Proposition 45. Teach your kids to protect themselves.
Hey, this is the one and only King of All Dorks, and you are listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Top. And you do have it tuned on this lovely Tuesday night to Crash Talk on HTLA Radio 1 New York. Still 63 degrees in the old Central Park. And after this, I'm going to go for a nice walk with the DOG. Yes, I am. Before the break, we were just getting into who is actually leading the charge to all these non-threatening, not scary terrorist groups. Well, a number of Al-Qaeda all-stars are believed to have migrated to Syria. Yes, and put down Khorasan's roots. But one name stands out. Mushin al-Fadili. A designated terrorist and apparent 911 insider. Oh, that'll be the next thing on NBC. 911 Insider with your host, Mushin al-Fadili. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I had full knowledge of the terrorist attacks on 9/11. Ha ha ha. Well, thanks for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week when I claim responsibility again. Well, just go away. Al-Fadili was among the few trusted Al-Qaeda leaders who received advance notification that terrorists would strike the United States on September 11th, 2001. According to the State Department, it describes Al-Fadili as a veteran Al-Qaeda operative who has been active for years. Yes, because they hired him. Al-Fadili is a wanted man in Kuwait and also on Saudi Arabia's most wanted list in connection with a series of terror attacks, according to the State Department. Yes. Now, he's not supposed to be the leader of the Khorasan group. No, we'll get to that in a few moments. But he is supposed to be a high-ranking official who plays a role. Yes, that is the official word, plays a role. Yes, it is like acting, isn't it? Born in Kuwait, Al-Fadili, or Al-Fadhili, whatever, sounds more Italian than anything to me, was first designated a terrorist by the U.S. Treasury Department in 2005. I guess they were paying him too much. Deemed an Al-Qaeda leader in the Gulf and accused of supporting Iraq-based fighters in attacks against U.S. forces there. The State Department has later called Al-Fadili a facilitator and financier. Yeah, because he looks like he's got no end of money, by the way, on the pictures of this guy. If you go on the web and look up pictures for Al-Fadili, yeah, not really... No. Anyway, Al-Fadili also allegedly has helped move fighters to North Africa. And Europe, according to the State Department, underscoring the concern of European nations that foreign fighters will mount attacks on their home soil. I don't know, but the Brits don't seem to be too worried. And don't forget, they got the SAS. And I know they're not as cool, and they don't have as many video games done after them as the U.S. SEAL teams. But I wouldn't mess with one SAS. Never mind the brigades they have. But that's just me. That's just me. So that's the is situation there. But then news today. Today, the Turk, quote, end quote, is dead. Yes, they quote it like he's some hugely sought-after, well-known leader of Al-Qaeda. Well, actually, they're saying he's also, is. So, yes, the Turk. I am Abu Yusuf Nal Turki. Yes. Filthy United States
pigs.
Yes, there's an official quote from Abu right there. Filthy United States pigs. Anyway, he's so infamous they call him the Turk. Yeah. Was he another role player in the West Side Story? What? Yeah, so anyway, the Turk is dead. Al-Qaeda-linked terror group says leader died in Syria airstrikes. Yes, you got him last night with your first round of strikes. That's pretty lucky. You know, considering it took us, 12 and a half years to find and kill bin Laden with no proof whatsoever. We got the Turk first day. Hot damn. Our numbers are up, baby.
I am Abu Yusuf Al-Turki.
Yes.
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 Filthy United States pigs.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, so the official word here is the United States is doing what it must do to, quote, take the fight to the terrorist, end quote, leading a coalition of Arab nations in a series of airstrikes against the so-called Islamic State terror group in Syria. U.S. President Barack Obama said Tuesday. At the same time, the United States took action on its own against another terrorist organization, the Khorasan Fine Kitchen Ensemble Group. Obama described its members as a seasoned al-Qaeda operatives in Syria. While actual videos from the Khorasan group onto YouTube and Vimeo show roughly 100 men with no supplies, apparently, out in the middle of the desert with their little, Yasser Arafat scarves and some AKs. And, don't quote me. They're saying it's around 100 men. They didn't say there was 100 AKs. In fact, in the video, the most I could count was 3. So, 3 confirmed AKs. A whole bunch of Yasser Arafat scarves and 100 guys in the desert with no apparent means. So, that's what we got there. Okay. U.S. officials said the group was plotting attacks against the United States and other Western targets. The plots against the United States were discovered by the intelligence community. Yes. An intelligence source with the knowledge of the matter told CNN that the source did not say what the target may have been, but said the plot potentially involved a bomb made of non-metallic device like a toothpaste container or clothes dipped in explosive materials. Yes. A plot involving concealed bombs on airplanes was just one option. They were looking at wow, I can talk tonight. The plot involving concealed bombs on airplanes, quote, was one option they were looking at, end quote. Thank you. Okay. Once again, it must be clear to anyone who would plot against America and try to do Americans harm that we will not tolerate safe havens for terrorists who threaten our people, Obama said in televised remarks from the White House today. Yes, the terror group Turk is dead. The airstrikes, meanwhile, appear to have taken a toll on another terror group, killing the leader of an al-Qaeda-linked al-Nusra Front. According to a statement released by the group, it identified the leader as Abu Yusuf Al-Turki.
I am Abu Yusuf Al-Turki.
Al-Turki.
Yes.
The Turk.
Filthy United States pigs.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is just too much fun for me. I don't get out a lot. I just make terrorist recordings and put dramatic music behind them. CNN cannot independently verify al-Nusra's claims, of course, but by monitoring the group in the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported the terror group was among those who were targeted during the airstrikes. The United States has not identified al-Nusra as the group targeted in the airstrikes, however. The airstrikes that began early Tuesday morning local time were only the beginning. Pentagon spokesman Navy Rear Admiral John Kirby said he declined to comment about future military operations. Well, what moron asked him about any future military operations? Duh. Meanwhile, in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Jordan took part in airstrikes. Yes, they help fuel our fighter jets because they don't have any. But anyway, U.S. targets. The U.S. military said Qatar played a supporting role in the U.S. military. Yes. Well, we've got the air base in Qatar, but what other role did they take part in? Did they have a parade? Come on. Yeah. The Rear Admiral saying he made clear that America would act as part of a broad coalition. Yes, that's exactly what we've done, he says. The strength of this coalition makes it clear to the world that this is not America's fight alone. Really? Because any of these terrorists only seem to have a problem with America. I don't see them raising pillars of holy fire in Tirana. Or, I don't know, El Salvador. No. How about Moscow? Nope. Putin's cool. Not going to do it.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yes. Yes. Well, everyone at the table agreed that there are times in the world when you need to take a stand, the official said in a condition of anonymity. Yes. But Syria warned that the United States not repeat the American fiasco in Iraq by undertaking the same kind of blind military attacks. Like I was saying earlier, that they did in Iraq within the last 10 years, and now they're arming them and getting them to fight Syrians who might be IS. Are you confused yet? I am also confused. Am I threatened or scared in any way? No. This is actually better than Saturday Night Live lately. You know, Saturday Night Live stopped being good about, 1998, I think. You know, so. And I've talked with James Signorelli about this, and yeah, he agrees. But that's unofficial. I can't put that out. Yeah, so the Khorasan leader, a skilled Al-Qaeda fighter. Yes, fundraiser. Ooh, in the days leading up to September 11th, 2001, only a handful of Al-Qaeda operatives outside of Osama bin Laden knew about the impending attacks on the United States. One of them was named Mushin al-Fadali. Yes, that Fadili. Yes, the Italian guy again. The 20-year-old from Kuwait, apparently, who U.S. officials said was a close confidant in the terror network's notorious leader. Now, 13 years later, al-Fadili has emerged as the leader of Khorasan, a group of al-Qaeda veterans that was nearing the execution phase of an attack in either Europe or the U.S., according to the Pentagon. Yes. That is why, on the same night that the U.S. and Arab allies carried out more than 200 airstrikes against ISIS, and the U.S. alone launched airstrikes against 8 Khorasan targets in southwestern Syria, Pentagon officials said. CBS News correspondent Bob Orr reports that on Twitter, jihadis are claiming that al-Fadili died in the bombings, but officials could not confirm who may have been killed. The State Department offered a $7 million bounty for information leading to al-Fadili, who is on the U.S. list of most wanted terrorists. Catherine Zimmerman, a senior analyst at American Enterprise Institute and expert on al-Qaeda, says al-Fadili was a seasoned fighter who rose quickly through terror networks' ranks, and by 2011 he was heading up al-Qaeda's Iran-based network. He is what I consider to be a core al-Qaeda member, Zimmerman told CBS News. He was within that inner circle. Well, according to the United Nations, al-Fadili has proven to be a skilled fundraiser also for terrorist operations and had strong ties to al-Qaeda leader Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. Yes, I'm good with these names, boy. Yeah, he was the bodyguard and second-in-command for a leader in al-Qaeda network and fought for al-Qaeda in the north of Afghanistan. The UN reported al-Fadili also fought against Russian forces in Chechnya, where he trained in the use of firearms, anti-aircraft guns, and explosives. By us. Al-Fadili was a facilitator connected with the al-Zakari groups in Iraq, providing support to fighters there. Al-Fadili has kept a relatively low profile recently, but the group he leads has long been on the U.S. radar. Officials told CBS News that Khorasan has made a mandate directly from al-Qaeda's Central Command in Pakistan. Well, hey, whoa, wait a second here, gang. if Al-Qaeda's central command is in Pakistan and the Pentagon knows about it, why aren't we in Pakistan? Why are we in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, pretty much everywhere else but North Korea and Pakistan? Why? What? It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, we're going for another quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll bust more into the anatomy of is.
Hey, this is the one and only King of All Dorks, and you are listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
We're gonna take a break. Don't touch that dial.
Too fat and lazy to come pick up a bazooka? Log on and have it at your door the next morning. Log on to ammunition.net. Try our motion-sensitive cluster bombs and shoot-to-maim automated firing gun turrets, which come ready to assemble in 284 easy parts. Ammunition.net also has a full line of generators so you can keep your fridge running and the beer cold through extended apocalypse. Need to stock up fast? The strongest will survive with our all-in-one Y2K kit featuring a tractor-trailer load of lager beer, redwood cigarettes, and enough firepower and ammunition to level a small country. Jesus! Y2K. It's coming, and you'd better be ready. Log on to ammunition.net now. Protecting your rights online.
Tommy, who is that naked man in your room?
That's Jack. He's my new friend I met on the internet.
The internet may appear like the future, but it's really a cyber-optic predator's playground. 9 out of 10 children who get on the internet are preyed upon by perverts, sickos, and society at large. This message brought to you by Citizens United, negating technology for life and people's safety.
My family! He's got a gun!
Someone's breaking into your home. What do you do? Call 911? It takes the police an average of 35 minutes to respond to a 911 call. In that time, a burglar could have his way with your wife, smoke a cigarette, flip her over, and go in for seconds. Don't let the worst happen to you. It is vital that you protect yourself. Do it the patriotic way.
That's right. Ammunition has all the equipment you need to protect your family from the evils of a liberal society. Fixed, mounted, and shoulder-held submachine guns, mortars, surface-to-air, and all manner of heat-seeking missiles. And just in to celebrate the Gulf War, pink and blue tracer bullets so you can protect your family in the dark. Start the week off right on Make My Day Mondays with 2 for 1 on maim, strafe, and kill landmines. Got Gulf War syndrome? Get $10 off all machine gun rentals. Hey, if you love your family, prove it with a gun. Ammunition, protecting your rights.
Until death do us part. Gosh, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Jennifer looked so beautiful. I knew I'd love her forever. And then she was driving along a canyon and her brakes went out. Well, I'm moving on now and remarried someone half my age. God, I love banging her. I started my life over with Crimson Executive Spouse Indemnity Services. Life can be uncertain, and you never know when your wife will be tragically taken away. Crimson set me up with a huge life insurance policy on my wife. I can't have her back, but now I have a second home.
I was devastated when I found out my wife was cheating on me, and even more so when she fell underneath the train. I was nowhere near at the time, and my phone records proved that. My life changed forever. I was a real mess for hours. Thankfully, the week before, I'd met with Crimson. Thanks to Crimson, I've had a penile augmentation and am much more confident with women. Thank you, Crimson.
To have a Crimson Planning for the Future kit faxed to you, just dial 1-866-505-CRIM.
If only the world was less like this.
I could use a smoke.
Hey, put that out!
And more like this.
I could use a smoke.
You murderer! I might have children one day!
Smoking kills, unless you kill first. If you're around a smoker, you will die. Smokers may look relaxed and like they're having fun. Don't believe it. Vote yes on Proposition 421. Let's outlaw smoking everywhere, even in people's homes, and allow honest citizens to legally kill anyone who smokes. Let's live in a world without smokers. Prohibition works. Let's prove it. Let's move up the food chain. It's time to smoke the smokers. Vote yes on Proposition 421.
You're listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Yes, thank you, Guy. And you are listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York and the old Crash Talk on this beautiful Tuesday night, 63 degrees, still in the old park of the Central Nature. Yes, enjoying fine hand-tooled Corinthian tobacconist products. Oh, what the hell, I'm just going to roll this.
Those are two things you'll find in Camels. No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor. The flavor of costly tobaccos, properly aged and expertly blended.
And no other cigarette gives you this conclusive evidence of mildness. In a coast-to-coast test, hundreds of people smoked only Camels for 30 days. Each week, noted throat specialists examined the throats of these smokers and reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Yes, that's proof of mildness, based on day-in, day-out smoking. Not just a sniff or a puff.
Make your own 30-day Camel mildness test, the sensible test, the thorough test. You'll enjoy Camel's rich, full flavor from first puff to last. You'll see just how mild Camels are, and you'll know why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild,
how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be?
Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see.
Ah, yes, thank you. Yes, the Camel cigarette ad from 1951. Yes, there you go. And the throat specialists guarantee it. Yes. Well, you know, just going to side note this for a second because I think Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi can wait a minute. You know, vaping is for girls, right? And all those e-cigarettes, yeah, that's for girls. Real men smoke real tobacco with real lighters and make real smoke. Yes, that kills their babies. I just love doing that stuff. It's not PC, and neither am I, damn it. So anyway, yes, let's move on to the anatomy of is. Now first, there's a disclaimer here. I'm going to get some of these damn names wrong. Holy crap, talk about mouthfuls. Yes, can't be anything easy like everybody just name themselves Al Jazeera. That's simple. No, first we're starting off with the commander-in-chief of is, apparently, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Not even kidding. Yes, and his two main henchmen. Abu Muslim, yes, his actual name is apparently Muslim, al-Turkmani. I think, wait a minute, is that... Yes, that's the Turk.
I am Abu Yusuf al-Turki. Yes.
Oh, wait.
Filthy United States pigs.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry. That's Yusuf al-Turki. This is Abu Muslim al-Turkmani. Yes, so I guess it's like Turkman. Yo, you the Turkmani. Yeah. So Abu Muslim, yes, the Turkmani man himself is the right hand of Mr. Baghdadi. And Abu Ali al-Abari. No, Anbari. A-N-B-A-R-I. Anbari. Yes. Well, apparently Abu Bakr Baghdadi there, Baghdaddio, I'll call him, he reports to a cabinet of Baghdadi's advisors who are unnamed, unknown, beats me. His two henchmen have control, apparently. Al-Turkmani has control of 12 governors in Iraq, and Bari has control of 12 governors in Syria. Now, the governors handle everything from financial counsel, weapons and oil sales, apparently, leadership council, drafting laws and key policies, a military council, defense of the Islamic State, a legal council, decisions and executions. They have a legal department. What the hell's the point of having a legal department when you're going to execute the infidel because he's an infidel? Because he's, white. Because white equals American, because they've recently taken yesterday a French journalist and also a German journalist who, I guess if you don't let them talk, look like Americans, or at least white Americans. Yeah, so that's the legal counsel. I guess they have to have lawyers for that. Mm-hmm. The Fighters Assistance Council, Foreign Fighter Aid. That's good. Let's see Willie Nelson go do one of those Foreign Fighter Aid concerts, shall we? Yes, they have a Fighters Assistance Council. So I guess, if I'm in the U.S. here and I'm kicking around New Jersey one day and I'm like, geez, I'm bored. I want to be a foreign fighter. What, do I go online and apply online for like a grant or something? What, do you send me money? Like, what is the Foreign Fighter Aid all about? Beats me. Also, they have a Security Council governor, internal policing executions. So they've got the legal council for external executions and recruitment, and then the Security Council for internal policing executions. Not internal policing. No, they don't reprimand you. They just kill you. Wow. Okay. And then, of course, they have their Intelligence Council. Information on ISIS enemies. Yes. And then, believe it or not, they have a Media Council that regulates media and social media. Wow, that just adds to the whole circus freak show that is this supposed terrorist threat. That they've got their own social media department, division, council, governor. Are you serious? Oh. Have another cigarette crash. So put yourself in the shoes and 7th century black robes of ISIS's Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the mysterious boss of the terror group that is striking fear into the hearts of leaders around the world with lovely media packages put together like this.
You filthy American pigs. No longer will my men be forced to bow down to your pantyhose-wearing imperialism. Each week, we will raise pillars of holy fire in each of your cities until our demands are met.
Mm-hmm. See, now, I think their media council should contact me and pay me to put together some scary sweepers and stuff for them. I think my stuff is a lot more polished and professional than whatever the heck it is they're putting out. Yes, in the past couple of years, you've managed to avoid drone attacks and survive civil wars, unity militant groups in 2 different countries under your banner, raise an army of jihadis from across the globe, apparently, and seize a chunk of land stretching from northern Syria to central Iraq. Your newly declared Islamic State is the size of Pennsylvania. So how do you govern it? You compartmentalize. New data from the Terrorism Research and Analysis Consortium, TRAC, ooh, that's good, that's sharp, has revealed that ISIS is putting government structures in place to rule territories or the group conquers once the dust settles on the battlefield. The research shows how ISIS has gone from being a purely military force to building a system that can provide basic services such as making sure that gas and food are available to its new citizens. Oh, where'd they learn that? The USA? From the cabinet and the governors to the financial and legislative bodies, ISIS's bureaucratic hierarchy looks a lot like some of those of Western countries, whose values it apparently rejects. Well, I would submit that, claiming and taking land that's not yours and trying to form your own little country is pretty capitalistic, wouldn't you say? How long is it going to be before Donald Trump goes and tries and buys a country? That would be funny, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Baghdadi, his cabinet advisors, and his 2 key deputies comprise the executive branch of the government known as Alimara. Yes, I'll say that again. Alimara. It's got a nice ring to it. The two deputies, Abu Ali Anbari and Abu Muslim al-Turkmani, veteran Iraq military officials who served under Saddam Hussein, oversee Syria and Iraq, respectively. Yes, just don't tell their governments. I guess that's why they're all up in arms and fighting them now. At least the Americans haven't claimed land for themselves over there. Oh, yeah, we have. Yes. ISIS has probably split the governance, of the Islamic State into Syrian and Iraqi branches simply to make it easier to run, according to Jasmine Opperman, TRAC's Southern South African director. She says they see the caliphate as one state, yet there are two different governments, Opperman told CNN. I believe this split is purely administrative at this time. They don't want to be seen as downplaying the caliphate at all, but to make it easier to govern, they are forced to make a separation between Syria and Iraq. I wonder if they'll raise pillars of holy fire in their own cities each week until that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, wouldn't you? The two deputies deliver orders to the governors in charge of the various sub-states in Syria and Iraq under ISIS control, who then instruct local councils on how to implement the executive branch's decrees on everything from media relations and in recruiting to policing and financial matters. The Shura Council, which reports directly to the executive branch, is the caliphate's religious monitor, appointed to make sure that all the local councils and governors are sticking to the ISIS version of Islamic law. The recent murders of Western hostages James Foley, Stephen Sotloff, and David Haynes would have fallen under the Shura Council's purview, according to Opperman. Let's say a significant execution is going to take place, something that will get ISIS on the front page of a newspaper. Opperman said it cannot be done without Shura Council approval. Oh, Shura, you say that now. The Shura Council also has the power to censure the leadership for running afoul of its interpretation of Sharia law, according to Opperman. The Shura Council has the right to tell Baghdadi to go if he's not adhering to ISIS religious standards, she told CNN. It would most probably never happen, but the fact that it's possible indicates the council's prominence. Baghdadi, who was once imprisoned by U.S. forces in Iraq, seems to have incorporated the American military's own counterinsurgency mantra of clear and hold. To win territory, establish control over the area, and then get the locals to help govern it. As the time goes on, ISIS is evolving into a government whose political decision-making cannot be separated from its military capabilities, according to Opperman. It takes two sides of the same coin, she said. We've seen the military side with the war cabinet that directs brigades, but now, on the other side, we're seeing how ISIS wants to govern. The two processes inform one another. So there you go. That's kind of the breakdown. That's the sum and total of ISIS there. They're just a bunch of whack jobs who want their own country and are making it happen. Kind of the same thing as our little cult compounds in the USA here, just a little bit bigger scale. And we can't have that either now, can we? No. So we've got to keep shoveling tens of trillions of dollars a month into what? Well, I guess to stop this from happening.
You filthy American pigs. No longer will my men be forced to bow down to your pantyhose-wearing imperialism. Each week, we will raise pillars of holy fire in each of your cities until our demands are met.
I know. I've probably played that too much tonight, but it's fun. I had fun making it. I have fun listening to it. It's just fun. And after all, isn't all of this just fun? Because it sure as hell ain't terrorizing. Anyway, gang, that is it for me tonight on this edition of the Crash-a-Talkin'. We'll catch you next week, and I'm going to dig up something a little more exciting than terrorists that aren't terrifying. Yes. So, tune in next week for another fine edition of Crash Talk on HTLA. And tomorrow, we've got Film 101 coming at you, along with a beautiful Real Talk from the Miss Kate herself. So, don't forget to tune in for that one, too, because that's some good stuff. We'll check you all later, and I am out of here. Have a good week.